Hello, good morning. Welcome to our Community Health Innovation Seminar series. I appreciate you guys dealing with technical difficulties we've had this morning. So we're just going to go on with the actual presentation and seminar right now. I am John Conklin, the program manager for Velocity Texas. We're based out of San Antonio, Texas, and in partnership with yeah. There you go. In partnership with Methodist Healthcare Administrators of Velocity Texas, we just want to thank Armando and Linda from UTRGV Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center here by hosting us and helping us out with everything. So if you guys don't know who Velocity Texas is, we're actually a nonprofit organization. We're celebrating 40 years. We're just celebrating 40, finishing up this year, research, technology, and innovation in San Antonio. It's really nice because San Antonio also has been deemed Military City USA. We actually have a lot with the military health system, and so we actually help incubate or we help new startups in the bioscience and medical technologies area. If you look at the magenta, that's actually our innovation center. So we have 7,000 square feet of office space and laboratory space in there to include conference centers and community resource centers such as this. And then we are actually very happy. The little building with orange is our collab space. We just opened that up in May of this last year, and that actually has our biosafety level 2 laboratories over there. And then we have 2 anchor tenants. The one in green is Scorpius, which is a contract development and manufacturing organization. So they essentially help pharmaceuticals and biotechnology companies with the production of pharmaceuticals as well as the manufacturing of pharmaceuticals. And then in the blue is Genfure, which is the subsidiary of BioBridge Global, if you've heard of them. And they actually do cell and cellular biomanufacturing as well. So this is the future of what Velocity Texas sees in the near east side of downtown San Antonio. It's historically an underserved community, and Velocity Texas actually moved from the west side of San Antonio to the near east side of downtown in order to have that community growth in that area. And so we aim to kind of foster that economic and workforce development. And so part of this is this future of the innovation district that we want to go to eventually. And it's going to have it's an additional 6 acres and 700,000 square feet of office space and laboratory for research and commercialization. We're very excited about this. Now, like I said, the mission of Velocity Texas is to actually help new startups with bioscience and medical technologies. And we do this in 3 different ways. We connect with academia and industry partners as well as military health system. As I said, we have a partnership with the Department of Health agency or DHA, which deals with all military health care. And we have 3 different research organizations that actually have office hours within our building, which is for the Army, for Institute of Surgical Research, the Air Force is the 59th Medical Wing, and then for the Navy is the Navy Medical Research Unit in San Antonio. And so we also support, and we support through our programs with the incubator, the accelerator, and then our educational programs such as this. And then finally, we help companies with funding. So we do this in several different ways, but the 2 main ways that we do it is we help to actually get grants through the Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer workshops and boot camps, also known as SIVR and SITR workshops and boot camps. We also have a subsidiary called Alamo Angels. And Alamo Angels is the largest investor network in Texas by membership, by accredited investors. And if you don't already know, they actually just opened up a chapter down here in the Rio Grande Valley. So very excited for that. Now, the focus of Methodist Healthcare Ministries in Velocity, Texas, for these summer series is the social determinants of health. And so the social determinants of health are actually anything that doesn't deal with direct medical care itself or healthcare policies. What it deals with is all the other determinants of your wellness and your health outcomes through from how you're born, how you grow, how you live, how you work, and how you age, right? So there's just all these other areas that impact your wellness. For example, quality education. Obviously, if we have a good foundation for education, we'll make healthier choices, as well as have healthier opportunities. We have access to healthcare, so efficient healthcare and timeliness of healthcare. The environment that we're in is very important, right? So it's things like access to parks, safe housing, clean air and water, fresh foods or healthy foods. And then the community, obviously we all know our support networks and community support systems are very important to how our health outcomes are with ourselves personally and with our families. And then finally, economic stability, which is about essentially having consistent job opportunities or creating job opportunities. And all of this really, in my opinion, just kind of really helps reduce stress in our lives, right? If we have better education, we have quality areas and living areas, and we have quality foods, exercise, support systems, and then obviously economic stability, we're just going to be overall healthier. SDOH factors, studies have shown actually help your wellness between 30 and 55%, all right? And some studies actually go all the way up to 80%. Which health outcomes are really only about 20% of your actual, or healthcare itself is actually only affects about 20% of your health outcomes. So, as I said, this is our Community Health Innovation Seminar Series, and this is the second of 11 that we have this year. So the next one will actually be in January, and then we'll have it monthly after that. We really kind of aim to bring innovators and such as yourselves and healthcare professionals in order to foster entrepreneurship, collaboration throughout the community, as well as awareness for SDOH. Obviously, it's right here in the Rio Grande Valley, and as some of you have already seen, we do provide free food now. So that's definitely a positive from last time. We culminate with a community health accelerator. And this is at the fall of every year. We just finished our first year with the Methodist Healthcare Ministries in our last accelerator. Our next one's going to be fall of 2025. At the end of this, you can go to our Velocity Texas webpage, and if anybody wants to apply to this accelerator, applications or registrations open right now. But essentially, we have education sessions for business, for management, and as well as pitch training. We do this through mentors and coaches, and you also get to network with other companies within the accelerator, as well as have resources. The winner at the end at our demo day actually gets to be part of a pilot program with Methodist Healthcare Ministries, so they get access to their system and all the resources as well, which is a pretty amazing thing. So this seminar today kind of builds upon the last seminar that we had, which is how to use AI to build your business model or your business model canvas. This one actually now takes that mission and breaks it into your metrics or your key metrics or your key performance indicators. You'll kind of learn things today about smart cards and your near term and your annual growth and then your long-term vision for all your key metrics that are part of that. Dave Ezra is the founder and CEO of Bogey Health. He's a veteran of 22 years in the Army. He is, he's also a Douglas MacArthur Leadership Awardee, and he's been consulting in strategic planning and organizational development for the last 10 years. He does have a master's in organizational leadership and certificates from our postgrads from MIT and UT Austin. I believe. And he also paid me to tell you all that he's also a overachiever for marathon and triathlons. So I will, without further ado, introduce.
Switch the screen share. Let me see if I can share here. How many of y'all are founders or part of a startup company, young company? 1, 2, 3, okay. 4, okay. Most of you. What domains are y'all coming from? We have clothing, what do y'all? Healthcare. Healthcare, okay. Technology, that's a big problem. Healthcare too.
Online purchases and sales.
Okay. Sure. I'm sorry. Construction, okay. How about
Cat nursery.
y'all? Okay, cool.
It's just entrepreneurship.
This is an entrepreneurship? A big complicated. Okay, so this is why, is there a specific focus on social determinants of health? We're just thinking, let's learn about some business development. Let's learn about strategic planning and how to take my vision for what I'm trying to accomplish with my company to action. I have to get a team, a group of people to go forth and do the work that makes that vision a reality. All right. Okay. The first slide, I don't think I need this clicker, but yeah. So again, I'm Dave Ezra. I got a bunch of alphabets on my name. I've worked from the very small startup level, and previous startup we were doing this drug safety study and the effect of COVID vaccines on pregnancies, which is what I'm doing now. But I've also worked in strategic planning, organization development at large companies, Marathon Petroleum, USAA, Intel. So I've got a huge breadth of experience. I especially love small companies, right? Small startups, because I'm able to wear whatever hat needs to be worn that day and make an impact, right? So that's where I found my real sweet spot and why I decided to start Logi Health. Logi Health is an ethical AI company. We're trying to solve for infant and maternal mortality with machine learning. So this is a mobile app with a machine learning on its back end that can predict adverse events during and post pregnancy so that we can get early intervention and save lives. This is a big problem that I'm fortunate because I'm retired military and have had some success that I can now devote my time and energy to this incredible mission. Okay, so how many of you are the boss CEO of your company? A few of you. Okay, so tell me, what does the CEO do?
Everything.
Everything. Okay, so like you're doing everything now. It's probably just you and a couple of folks, yeah. What about when your team grows? You got 30 people or 100 people working for you. Now what do you do, Jeff?
Strategic planning.
Strategic planning, what else? Managing leadership.
How to scale your business. How to scale your business.
Setting the vision, all good answers. Yeah, so we got leadership, strategic vision, decision making, and there's also that external representation. So having to go out and represent the company, recruiting, establishing relationships with other vendors. You took my screen share. Yeah, I'll be right back. There you are. It's a big job, right? And it's not just, I just get to, set the vision and strategies, and then I get to, everybody else does the work, right? There's a process, there's tools and techniques that we need to best do that, right? And it, to me, is best done with your team, right? So it's a collaborative effort. There's a lot of facilitation. You can hire people to do it, but what I hope for you to get out of this class today is a few tips and tools to take forward. And, you know, as you come up with some of these challenges, you can have some ideas to accomplish your mission. Okay, so this is what we call the strategic pyramid. So we talked about vision and mission, right? We all talked about mission the last class. I hope we're going to go into that a little bit. Anybody want to say what they feel like the vision is? What's a vision? Well, vision versus mission. What do you want? Like your overall goal.
Your plan is to.
So to me, the vision is my big ultimate goal. You'll hear the term BHAG. Y'all heard that before? Big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, what am I like? If I meet every milestone, if I achieve every dream that I have for this company, for this team, what's that ultimate goal? For us, it's ending avoidable maternal income mortality. Right? That's pretty big. But that's what I'm trying to achieve. The mission is how I'm getting, right? So that's the main purpose. And then also with the process that I use for doing this, I want to decide what are my values? What is the team's values? Why does this group of people decide to go to work every day for this mission? And then from that, we can pull a strategy and start pulling those actions as metrics. The point of this is it needs to be shared. So I'm the boss. I give you like, okay, here's what we're going to accomplish. Here's your metrics. Here's what you're going to do over the next, quarter, next 3 months. Right? Now, what if something happens to me, right? I have a whatever it is. Is my team going to know what to do to continue with the mission? It needs to be a shared mission vision. So in the Army, this is an example from the Army, we train our young officers to brief the mission and then immediately ask the team to back it. So I'm going to find the lowest ranking guy in the group. I'm going to say, hey, here's what we're going to do for this mission and what we're going to accomplish. Tell me what that was. And they'll back you. So I know, like, okay, you got it. So if I go down, that team's going to be able to continue on with the mission, right? So it needs to be shared. I'm going to show you all an example of a workshop that I do with my team, especially my core leaders. But I like to bring as many as I can of the team to complete that. Okay, so what's your mission? What's your vision? Anybody? Anybody want to?
Yeah, I kind of shared that with you a little earlier when I was
Yeah,
telling you about luxury clothing, especially here in Bronzo. I don't think that Bronzo residents should have to leave Bronzo to experience that for the first time. I think we deserve that. So my mission is for people to ultimately not have to leave the city to experience that for the first time.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Mission, vision. I love asking this to folks that are not the boss. Right? You're the boss. So, you're the partner. How clear are you on this mission and vision?
Very clear.
Right? It's important that our team is able to also regurgitate that mission and vision. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the differences, some examples that I like to share that are really good, in my opinion, vision and mission. So Apple, can somebody read that for us?
Vision to make the best products on earth and to leave the world better than we found it. That's a vision. Mission is to bring the best user experience to customers through innovative hardware, software, and services.
Does that deliver the why?
You got it?
That's a big thing, very big. Make the best products on earth. Right?
That bar is pretty clear.
And I mean, this to me, like, if I'm working for Apple, I got that. Like, I know what we're trying to accomplish here. Here's another really good idea. Somebody wanna take that for us?
Vision to create a better everyday life for the many people, and the vision and mission is to offer a wide range of well-designed functional home furnishing products at price so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them.
What do y'all think about that? Pretty crystal clear. Yeah. Like this is ultimately what we're trying to achieve here, better everyday life. And here's how we're gonna look. Okay, this is Moby Health. Our mission is to make pregnancy safer by providing intelligent monitoring and learning solutions. Our vision is the end of what it will term the right. I might be a little biased, so please get feedback on this, but I feel like it's clear. This is what I'm trying to achieve. It's clear. My team understands it and can regurgitate it. So when they go out in public and people ask, well, what do you do? Well, I work at Moby. What is that? Well, our mission is to provide intelligent monitoring learning solutions. Okay, so now how do we take that vision and that mission and draw out our credit? We need to define our objectives, right? What are the steps to get there and the milestones we're going to try to achieve? What's the environment, okay? What's going to affect our business? What do I need to plan for, contingencies? What are the resources that are available to me or the resources I need to try to achieve? Fostering collaboration. So I talked about bringing in your team to help build this together so that it's a shared understanding, but also collaborating with your external stakeholders. So key activity, identifying who those stakeholders are in your community. It might be, fabric manufacturers. It might be your marketing folks locally, like you're really hyper focused on local area. It might be your healthcare system, right? Identifying those key folks, and then embrace flexibility, right? You'll hear the term pivot. Just be ready to pivot. In the tech space, you gotta new things are coming at us all the time, right? So we gotta be ready to regulation. Be ready to. Some really great tools that you can use to help achieve these concepts and ideas is your SWOT analysis. I'm going to show you an example of that. That's really working with your team, defining what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. The PESTLE analysis is a great, really great external look at your political, economic, social, technological, and environmental and legal areas. A balanced scorecard. I'll show you an example of a scorecard that you can use to monitor your success in order to enable you to be flexible and to be able to pivot. Right? So your job as your leader, CEO, I issue the mission, I have the vision. Now, once that's done, everybody knows there's our action plan, here's what we're doing. My job is to monitor and control. And how do we do that? Right, a balanced scorecard is not a good way of doing it. And y'all talked about this in Model Canvas previously, so that's great. I'll have that experience. Now, as we're defining objectives, think about them being SMART. Has everybody heard this term before? SMART objectives. This is pretty well established: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Is anybody's first time hearing SMART objectives? It is the first time? Okay. So specific, it needs to be concrete, right? Something I can actually measure. Right? Well, that's measurable too, right? I am going to, this example, increase the website traffic by 10,000 unique individuals. Right? I'm assigning a number. For me, like a regulatory, I'm gonna have 0 major findings from audit, and maybe I give myself like 5 minor findings for audit. Let's know. So I'm assigning numbers. Achievable, it's got to be realistic. Relevant, you know, it aligns with what you're trying to do, right? It aligns with your overall business goals. And I'm going to show you a fantastic tool for doing that called the Ocean Cannery Matrix, and then timeout. So I establish what my annual goals are, and then I'm going to break down the between quarters. And so as a CEO, I'm going to look every quarter and say, okay, how are we doing on those objectives that we established for each quarter? And I'll show you that. Okay. Vision to action. We go. I use, because we're a digital company, everybody's remote. When we do meetings, we're online. We don't have a central place. In fact, I have team members in Europe and in Asia, all over the US. So we do a lot of work online. This is a good online tool called Mural. There's others out there. Miro is another one. And this is my strategic planning roadmap. So, first thing I do, get with the team, and this is an exercise that we do called empathy map. And that's where we sit down with the team and we brainstorm. Okay, we'll put a timer on the clock and we go, okay, put everything you can think of for 3 minutes on a sticky card for what you think that pregnant mom, is thinking. Everybody puts all their ideas in. Okay? And then, I'll put 3 minutes on the clock and ask, where is she feeling? Right? This is a good exercise, y'all. What does she say and what does she do? Whoever your customer is. Okay? It's a great tool to really get you to start understanding, what am I building? Okay. After that, I go into brainstorming vision. Same thing. I put time on the clock, ask the team, put all your ideas for what you think our vision should be. Everybody's going to put all their ideas. And you'll see how these are organized in lines. It's not like that. Everybody's just throwing stickies on the board, right? This is called affinity mapping. There's a good example here. We brainstorm a mission. Everybody's putting their stuff on there, and then we affinity map it. So we put them all, okay, which ones are related in a column, and then I put a theme over the top. Those are in black. Let's give you an example. So brainstorm, and then I finalize it. So you can see we finalize our vision, our mission, and now we get to strategies. Very similar. What are our plans? What strategies do we need to accomplish to achieve this mission? Same thing, brainstorming those, we affinity map them, we pull them down into themes, and that's going to help us start nugging out, okay, what are all those metrics going to look like? And then, of course, I like to do values. What are our values? Why do we come to work? What's our character? We've had a lot of activities that came up with ultimately 4. How do you choose between all these great ideas? I use different tools to do that. Vistify, y'all heard of that? Vistify is a really quick way of getting a vote on something. So you can be like, all right, you want to do 5 is like, this is the best thing you ever slam dunk, and 1 is like, no, hate it. No freebie in between. So you can, all right, how about this data driven? You know, you can take a quick vote. You know, like, okay, before you take an average of, all right, we got some 5s over here. We got some 1s over here. Why do y'all disagree? And this is when I use what I call rap battle. So I split the team, I'm like, all right, all the 5s are over here and 1's over here. Everybody has to choose, right? Pick a side of the room. And I give them like, all right, you take 3 minutes each. I want you to come up and be able to clearly explain why you feel the way you do. And speak to it. And then you got 3 minutes, you get 30 seconds each, right out. So they'll pick a representative, they'll come up and say, hey, here's why I think we should be data driven. This is a core value to me, this is why I think it's so important. And this team said, well, it's not important to me, this is why, right? And then we go to reboot and see if it moves the needle anywhere, right? These are just little tips and tools, you guys. I think it's fun, right? As the boss, it's a great course to be able to facilitate stuff. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I gotta go fix it out. It was BMSV, that's the strategy. BMSV, what's the whole strategy?
Yes, value, mission, vision, mission, values, and strategy. Yes. BMBS. Or BMSV. And so this is it. This is what the ultimate end result is of this exercise, is this pyramid, where we establish our vision, we're going to end avoidable internal mortality. What is our mission? Make pregnancy safer by providing intelligent monitoring learning solutions. Our strategies are external wellness when we pivot, cutting edge data practices, establish a culture, trustworthy, sustainable marketing practices, and then establish repeatable process. Now I have to go and take all that and make an action. That gives me a good start. And our values are data-driven, ethically responsible, radically inclusive, and transparent. And because the team was part of this, like, it's baked in, right? It makes my job easier to develop that culture. Okay. So let me go back to our presentation. And values are super important. What are your values? Do you have established values in your company? Anybody want to share?
Try to, that's where we have the others. And we try to be transparent with our pricing and where the product is located, delivery timing.
Are those defined clearly and published? Everybody gets your customers know, like, hey, this is who I'm working with.
I guess that's the first thing we tell them, but we don't have them.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things.
Yeah. Super important. Anybody else want to share? I'd love to do an exercise where we take a fictional company, what do I call it? Not bookies, but schmookies. We develop values for like what is this company? It's always interesting to see what people say. It's new.
What are some values that we share?
Oh, like that's the fun part. Is like it's really got to come from your team.
Yeah, but will be the one that you have, for example. Like your company, like what is?
What are our values? So data driven, ethically responsible, radically inclusive, and transparent are our values. In the military, in the army, leadership,
Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and
personal courage.
personal courage.
Yeah, we teach our soldiers, our airmen, our sailors from day one. These are our values, and you take that throughout your entire career. You know why you come to work, right? It's shared. For a brand new company, you're building that culture from the ground up. Like as a CEO, that's your responsibility. That's one of you. A big one. Establish that culture. If you're stepping into an existing company, your job is to make sure there's a positive culture, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't have time to do the schmuckies exercise, but if you think about it, like, if I was a large yes, what would that be? And if I actually I can show you off the end, I have the mission and vision. It's really great. It's super. They actually have it. Okay, so we talked about SWOT a little bit. I have an example here, I think. I can see. Okay, so another great tool. Strengths and weaknesses are the difference between for strength and weaknesses and opportunities and threats is strength and weaknesses are gonna focus on your internally and opportunities and threats external. Okay, I already went through that, but here's a great exercise after you finish that. You're gonna talk with the team and say, how do we use these strengths to take advantage of those opportunities? How do we overcome weaknesses, preventing us from taking advantage of those opportunities? So this, I mean, gosh, your team members, the folks doing the work tactically, the folks that have their hands dirty, that know what it is we're trying to do, the folks that choose to come to work, right? They will bring you so much good information if you're asking these questions. So externally, how can our strengths reduce the probability of threats? And what can you do about your weaknesses to make these threats less likely? Okay. Wish I had more time to do some exercises here, but we're gonna move on. Super great tool, guys. Just like, anybody ever heard of the Ocean Game Matrix before? Ocean Camera, yeah, this is really beautiful. Okay.
How you spell that?
HOSHIN ANRI. This is, and I'll be able to zoom in here. This is a big high level. So I have a spreadsheet that does this. So I've gone through the exercise with the team, vision, mission, strategies, values. Now I've got to start thinking through breaking it down into goals. So I have my overall vision, my 3 to 5 year objectives that I figured out. I've now got my annual, my 1 year, 1 to 2 year, more short term objectives, and they're supposed to be what?
Yeah.
And then my immediate actions, okay? So what are these, like, what do I need to do kind of real, very much near term? And then on the right side, so I'm working my way around. So here's the overall ultimate goal, vision, my 3 to 5 year breakthrough objectives, annual objectives on this left side, or yeah, left side. On the top, my near term, what I need to accomplish. And then here on the right are my KPIs, my metrics. Okay, so let me zoom in here and kind of walk y'all through this. I don't have a ton of time, but you guys, this is super valuable for this. So I'm gonna show you all kind of how it works. So I figured out what are those metrics that I need to watch to monitor for the success of my program. So let's say I have these near-term objectives. I need to establish my public relations program, social media program, ethics risk committee, improve study template launch procedures, governance documents review program. These sound really boring, but they're really important to make sure we're able to accomplish these near-term, right, annual goals. Now, for each of these, I have these KPIs listed out. So I want to make sure that these all nest. So what are we doing day to day to day? Should all benefit the ultimate vision. Okay, and this is what helps me make sure. So I have, let's say I'm looking at the first one, number of contracts for studies signed. And what I do here is I'm going to block out every near-term improvement item that supports. So I'm making sure that metric supports one or more of those near-term improvement items, right? Now, I've gone through and made sure that everything that I'm measuring is connected to at least one of these top-level improvements, right? If I'm measuring it, it should matter, right? If I'm doing it, it needs to be measured, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to go over to this side and make sure that each one of these top level improvement items support one or more of the annual objectives. Right? If we're doing it, it needs to support my annual objectives, right? If the team is doing work that doesn't support that, why are they doing it? Why am I putting resources to that? Money, time, right? It needs to matter, right? It needs to support my overall vision, okay? And then I'm taking these annual objectives and I'm making sure that they are supporting one or more of my long-term 3 to 5 year objectives. And those 3 to 5 year objectives come directly from my vision. You see how that works? Sir?
So let's say, for example, right, if I'm not able to make it to one of my quarterly objectives, how long should I stick to them? Like, should I just let it go or just repeat the process?
Yes. Depends. You have to make that decision. Now, I don't want, if I'm asking my team, like, I'm gonna give them the objectives and what I expect from results to be, so those measurements. And then they're gonna go take and define their own internal, their team's objectives based on what my metrics are, what my KPIs are. I don't expect them to be green every time, right? Because you need to set, and that's the balance, right, as a boss. You're like, okay, well, if it's green every time, that's what it flag to me. Well, that's too easy, right? Are we setting real goals? I want to challenge them, so I expect some yellow, right? I expect, okay, we struggled, we didn't get this done in time. Let's talk about it. You need more resources? What is it? Is there a risk? Is something that's more complicated we thought? It's okay. Right? I tell them it's okay to fail, it's okay to mess up. Like, just try to do something. But let's set some goals that are, you know, you can set some low-hanging fruit, like you want some wins too. But set some challenging goals. Push them. Right? Okay, I'm gonna back out of this and hopefully have time to show you guys the scorecard. Okay, so that's exactly what I was just talking about. Right? Driving accountability, measuring progress. Your job now, once you've got that plan established, I've got my annual objectives, I've got my short term, here's what we're doing, y'all. I'm monitoring and controlling. And you're doing that, you can add dashboards where that's constantly maintained. I can go anytime and look and say, okay, what's going on? Regular performance reviews quarterly. So I'll show you guys a scorecard. Feedback loops and agile course correction. We're, software development, so we adhere to agile DevOps practices. So our team actually, they'll make a plan for 2 weeks. We have an overall roadmap, but they'll make a plan for 2 weeks, they'll execute that. And at the end of that 2 weeks, they'll demo. Everybody will be there, the whole team, and demo what they've accomplished over those 2 weeks. And that includes developers, the quality guy, our marketing, everybody's sharing. Okay, here's what we did the last 2 weeks, and here's what we're doing next. Right, and then we can collaborate. Okay, here we need to pivot based on what might be new, or we continue to execute on our roadmap. So there's those touch points, and for every company is different. Where do I inject myself as a leader and pivot the company, right? And just know every time when you're pivoting, that's hard. That every time I said, oh no, stop doing that, do something different, the team has to hurt, right? And then get some momentum in. And so it's a balance. And just having your finger on the pulse, being able to know where you are with those either routine demos and in the Army we call them after action reviews, or through a scorecard. There's different ways. Let me show you guys a scorecard where. Armando?
Is it okay if we go over about 5 minutes since we started here?
Okay, yeah, I'm almost done too. Okay. Okay, so here, this isn't great, this ribbon here, but you can get the idea. Color code, red, yellow, green, everybody understands that. And so we're establishing here the key indicators that we pulled from that ocean cannery, the KPIs. We're assigning who's responsible for it. So the department is operations and Diego owns this particular line item. And our goal is four number of contractors they sign. And actually in the full plan, we're gonna break that down probably by quarter. It might be one in the first quarter, then 1, 1, 1, or maybe 1, 2, 1, you know, maybe leave the fourth quarter open to the holidays. You have to think through that stuff. Here we go, ops. Diego's got this one, number of studies initiated with sponsor, 4. All right, so on down. So this is mine, PMO, number of processes mapped. So 75% of the process mapped to an organization, and basically break that down 25, 25, 25, however we want to do it. So we did this quarterly. Maybe you want to do monthly, it's up to you. You know, how often do you want that touch point in your company? Small, it's just, you know, you and a couple of folks, not hard. You're in there doing the work, you're doing everything like y'all said. But once you start growing, you get 30, you get 100 people, you got 200 people. How? This is a good way. We took this company registry, we started with 6 of us. There was over 40 when we exited. Yeah, in a year and a half, it was 40 people. Yeah. So this was really critical to be able to measure our success, assign departments goals. Okay. So that's scorecard and Q&A. So any questions, comments?
Could you share some of your presentation, the tools?
Yeah, I think John's gonna send that. Can you send out?
If you signed up or registered or whatnot, we'll send out a link to Velocity Texas and it has it on our website. But I can also just make sure that you signed in and everything like that. And I'll personally send it to the email that you signed up.
So I can send out the templates.
I need you to front you haven't said that.
Any other questions?
That was my question, if I could, it's not as a service sentence, but.
Okay, all right, and just with my team, when we finish the mission, I'd like to have the retrospective or after action review. I do it every time, and I recommend you do it with your team. This is a great practice for building a team and improving, continuous improvement. Can I get at least 2 things that went well during this class? Things that I should keep.
Sure. I mean, things that went well. I really appreciate you giving us the tools to be able for us to measure these things. These things that was talking about part of the not too long ago, like 2 days ago, that we needed something. Yeah, more structure, like how to measure these successes also, but also how to, you know, we haven't even thought about the threats and all these things, and how to use that as to our advantage. So I think for that, for just opening it up.
Great, thanks for that feedback. I know this is like quick, this is a lot, like really fast, so, hopefully I just give you enough where you can go, okay, there's a tool out there I can go search for.
Right. Yeah, give us the idea.
Yeah.
I have, so that's, your communication style was excellent, and then, I mean, to me, you just opened up my mind. Gave me questions that I didn't have, so that's the senior measuring system.
Isn't
My English is not so good, so I understand you. That's and thank you for this guidance to the community.
Thank you.
That's we don't hear too much about that in this time, so it's very important for us, like moms, like you give the youth or the thing or the person that you're saying the things is values.
That's true. That's true. How about improvement? I like at least 2. What can we improve on?
working a little bit better on the technology.
Well, I think, you know, most of us here are really small business, you know, we're mom and pops. So, you know, and I guess because not many of us are in the digital industry or in the technology industry. But, you know, so I think just, you know, making it, you know,
More accessible.
more accessible, yeah, for mom and pop.
Yeah.
That would be, you know, something.
I guess, yeah, our level of education or whatever, irresponsible.
No, thank you for that. Anything else, John? I'll hand it back over to John, thank you so much.
Dave, thank you so much. I'm just gonna kind of add a little more to that, right? Just from my experience and everything that I work with other small companies with as well. Completely understand what you're talking about. One of the things that, you know, a lot of small companies don't do is stuff like this, right? And developing that vision and that mission. And the reason is because a lot of the time you're working the business with them. Right? We're not a large company where the CEO is in another office, right? In a corner office somewhere on a very high level, and everyone else doesn't get to see him or her, right? And everything like that. So visions and missions are very important when it comes to that because it's kind of like parenting, right? When you want to parent and you tell your kids, well, this is why I'm doing something, that helps the kid or the child to understand, you know, what your thought process is, right? And if you align all of those thought processes together, then have you ever had a boss where you don't know what they want? Right? I mean, that's the failure of communication in vision and mission, right? Because now you don't know how to make a decision. Right? And so exactly what Dave's talking about is that everybody on your team knows exactly what you want at the end. Hopefully one day it's called initiative, right? Hopefully one day they're going to do whatever it takes because they know where you want to be at the end. If you know you want to be in Brownsville and your car breaks down, I'm not telling you how to fix the car. I'm just telling you need to be in Brownsville by Friday at 8 a.m. That's the vision, and that's the mission. The mission is to do whatever in Brownsville, right? But if I know I need you there at 8 a.m. and your car breaks down, you don't have to call me and tell me, oh, my car breaks down, what do I do now? Right? No, you take initiative, you do the job, and you get to Brownsville by 8 a.m. Right? So that's kind of like the thing that you can really take a lot of those factors. The other thing is I was just mentoring somebody about their marketing plan, right? And one of the things, because she owns a small hotel or motel, it's only like 6 rooms, and she couldn't understand how to get marketing out there. She didn't know how to start it. She had all these big plans. She had all these ideas. And the thing about marketing and advertising is marketing's the science and advertising's the art, right? Because those two are not the same. Okay, people use it interchangeably. But technically, marketing is the science of the why or what you're doing, and the advertising is the how. Now, here's the thing: if you don't have key metrics, right, how do you know your marketing is effective? By the time you look at your net profit, your gross profit and/or net profit, it's a lagging indicator. You're already 1 month, if not 3 months, if not 6 months behind. How do you know your marketing is effective if you don't have metrics to start from? And the thing that we have another class about marketing needs, so come back to this, right? But I mean, this is building upon everything that we're going to do for the rest of next year as well, right? As we lead into how to educate. So great ideas, Emily. We really appreciate you guys. Bye. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this back, but I'm going to try. So this is the next session. We are going to be, oh, it doesn't shut it. So this is our next, is it January 23rd, or taking December off and everything like that, please, I'll send you guys all the links and everything for what Dave has and all his products and everything like that. I'll also send out the link for the next session in January 23rd. We appreciate you all coming. I know you guys have a global entrepreneurship meeting after this, and it's going into vision board. So it actually works really well with everything that we're doing right now. I think it fits right in perfectly. Did you have a question?
You don't do these classes like in Spanish, right?
No,
It's.
I wish I knew Spanish, but I don't. I know they not.
I just, you know, I'm gonna give you a sales pitch here actually, on this one. I opened a home care agency, and when I was looking at my target audience, I used to think that I'm going after, you know, low income, elderly people. So in my head, there's no need for me to invest in social media or digital marketing. Boy, that I was wrong, because in 2 years, now I have a person that does just social media for me. I have a social media manager. Because as we started, when we opened up and we started going, you know, doing events and stuff, I realized that every person, all the elderly people have TikTok, have Facebook. And I said, oh my God, I am so behind on this. So right now, I think, you know, if we have a really good social media, but it has, I mean, grown my business a lot, just, you know, and, you know, so the marketing part of the business is essential.
Yes, no, absolutely, and some of these are the foundation for you to do your marketing campaigns and figure out what medium you're gonna use, because understanding who your target market is, right, who the people that you serve, right, they're not everyone. Have you seen a commercial where you're like, I don't understand that commercial, you know why? Because it wasn't made for you, it was made for somebody else. You see what I think? Because you weren't part of that target market. So they're, you know, these big companies are very particular with how they actually do their advertising. And it's based off of that science. And that science comes from these foundations of, well, what am I trying to show? What's the vision? What's the mission? What's the product? Right? What am I trying to, you know, serve? What's the service that I'm trying to provide? What's the problem that I'm trying to solve? Right? And everything like that. Sometimes breadcrumbs are easy because you're trying to solve a hunger problem, but it's also a particular flavor, right? A particular type. So you have to know like who your target market is, because it's obviously different. Again, thank you so much. If you want to stick around, please do. We'll answer more questions. Dave will be here for a little bit longer. I think we're going to head over afterwards to kind of look at the vision boards and everything and kind of see how that is too. But please, after this, come by and just talk. Right, thank you.